Hello, the audience. I have come up with the greetings, divine and peaceful to all of you, and today we are gonna talk about past tense with all its four aspects. That's the past simple or past indefinite and past continuous. That's past continuous, also called past progressive, along with past perfect and past perfect continuous. As you know, dear audience, in our last sessions we talked about present tense along with the sentence structure with session 1, 2 and 3, okay, and then the revision of all the three sessions. And this time in this session we'll be talking about the past tense for its all four aspects: present simple, present continuous, present perfect and present perfect continuous. As you know, dear audience, this past tense is used to indicate to the action or the work that happened somewhere in the past across the time. Okay, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about the structure of past indefinite and along with the sentence examples. Okay, and that means the structure of the past simple is as it is the subject of any we can say that of any person, maybe first person, second person or third person. You know, dear audience, in the first person we have I as singular, we as plural. In the second person we have you as singular, you as plural. And same in the third person we have he, she, it as singular or any singular noun. And as plural we have they as plural and any plural noun. Okay, these are the subjects. In the first structure, at the first part we have the subject. Then we have the second form or the past form of any verb, and then we have object. Okay, likewise. Then let's go for the examples. Say for example we have I ate rice. I acts as a subject. Ate, the past form of the verb eat, acts as a verb, that is the action doing word. After that we have the rice that acts as an object. So I is the subject, ate is the action doing word, and rice is an object on which the work has been done. Okay, likewise. Then in the next example we have she reads a book. Sorry, it is she read a book. I thought that it is the present. This is the past. But in the past, read has the same spelling as of the present form of the verb, that is R-E-A-D. So, but here it's being pronounced differently. It is not read, it is read. That's why there is no read, there is no R-E-A-D-S, because in the past there is no special provision for the third person singular subject. So we read it as she read a book for the past. Okay. Then in the next example we have you played football. You played football. So you acts as a subject, played acts as a verb, past form of the verb play, then football acts as an object on which the work has been done. Okay, so next we have we drank water. We drank water. So when we say that we drank water, that means we acts as a subject, drank acts as a action doing word, then water again acts as an object. That means we as a subject are working for the, we can say, the action doing word, that is drank, and we are working on the water. Actually we drank water. Okay, and the next example we have he went to school. He went to school. So he again third person singular, but actually you know that as in the past tense we don't have that provision of verb plus s or es. So he went to school. That means he acts as a subject, went acts as the past form of the verb go, and to acts as a preposition. Then we have the school as an object. Then in the last example of past indefinite we have they worked hard. They worked hard. So in this sentence they act as subject, that is the agent of work or the agency of an action, then worked as the past form of the verb work, then that is the action doing word, then we have the hard. Okay, hard here works as an object. Okay, actually it doesn't work here as object, it works as a complement. Okay, it's a complement. That means it is an adverb. that works here for the verb worked. Okay, so here hard is not an object, it is simply an adverb. It adds to the meaning of the verb that's worked. Then in the next aspect of past tense, we do have past continuous, also called past progressive. This is the tense that helps us to show action that was going on somewhere at a specific time in the past. Okay, and as you know that as per the present continuous, past continuous at the same time helps us to talk about any action that's being done or that's being performed at the time of speaking. So since this is the past, this is the tense of the past, so this work or this action has been done at the time of speaking, but that too in the past. That too in the past. Let us go for the structure of it. In the structure, we have subject plus was oblique verb plus subject plus ing, that is the present participle form of the verb, plus object. Let's begin with an example. You know that as why there is was oblique verb, because was, we can see that was comes with the singular subject and verb comes with the plural subject. Okay, that's the difference. So let's go for the example. Say for example, I was eating rice. I was eating rice. So that means I acts as a subject and was acts as a helping verb, the auxiliary verb, and eat as a main verb takes ing with it, and that takes its present participle form of the main verb, and rice is an objective. So I as a subject is going to work in terms of aiding on rice. Okay, so that is the work is being done or the action has been performed. Okay, for the first sentence. Let us go for the second sentence. For the second sentence, you know that in the second sentence we have she was reading a book. She was reading a book. She again acts as a subject and was is an auxiliary verb, and the read as a main verb along with ing, that makes the present participle again of the verb read, and a book is an object. So again she is a subject with the help of the auxiliary verb was going to do the work in terms of the reading, and that reading is happening on the object that is called book. So that's why book works as an or acts as an object in the sentence. Then you were playing football. You acts as a subject again, and were, since we can use the only, you always act as a plural, and we always take are in the present and were in the past with you, and playing as play as a main verb along with the ing becomes the present participle form of the play, and football is again the object. Okay, so you were playing football. That's another example for the past continuous, that is the work has been done somewhere in the past, and the person who is talking about any particular action or work, he is doing that work at the time of speaking somewhere in the past. Then again we have we were drinking water. We were drinking water. Again the drinking of water is a work that is being done. That drinking as a work has been done on water, and we as the plural first person pronoun has been doing it on water. Then he was going to school. He was going to school. So he is, we can say that third person singular subject. That's why we use was, and it works via the verb go. It becomes going. Again the past, again the present participle form, and the work is being done on the school. School is an object. Okay, they were working hard. Again they were working. Again the hard again doesn't act as an object, but it acts as a complement, as an adverb. Okay, so they were working hard. They are the subject and they are actually working. But this last sentence is actually suffixed or added by the adverb in the form of complement, not by the object. Okay, then let's move to the next aspect of past tense, that is past perfect. Past perfect is again the aspect that helps us to indicate to some work that has recently been done or that is about to be completed. Okay, and the structure for the past perfect is subject plus had plus third form of the verb, that is past participle form of the verb, and along with the object. Let's go for the examples. The examples are, I had eaten rice. I had eaten rice. Then I acts as the subject, and had simply helps us as an verb, that is called a helping verb, and eaten is a main verb, and this work has been done on rice. So I had eaten rice. Likewise, she had read a book. She as a verb, she as a subject, third person singular subject, had been doing a work while reading, and the work is being done on book. So she had read a book. Okay, you had played football. So again, this is the past perfect, and you as a third person singular or plural, you had played football. We had drunk water. We had drank water. Likewise, he had gone to school. He had gone to school. Likewise, then they had worked hard. Again, in the last sentence, we do not have object. We have simply adverb that acts as a complement. Then, for the last and final aspect, that is past perfect continuous. This is again another aspect of the past tense, wherein we indicate certain actions that have been done in the past, but that indicates the continuity or the duration of a particular work that has happened in the past, and maybe some other work is happening at that time. Let me remind you, my dear audience, that for the past perfect and past perfect continuous, we actually use some conjunctions after this past perfect and past perfect continuous, so that we can come up with the two actions. And because usually it is the right way to use two actions for the past perfect and past perfect continuous. So we can say like that, I had eaten. For the past perfect, we can say that I had eaten rice when you slept. For the second, she had read a book. She had read a book when you studied. Okay, likewise. So then for the past perfect continuous, we have the structure, that is subject plus had been plus wing, that means verb plus ing plus object. Let's go for the example. The structure, that means we should have the subject, we should have the had been as an auxiliary verb, then we should have the ing form of the verb, that's called past participle form of the verb, and along with the object. Okay, then let's go for the examples. I had been eating rice. I had been eating rice. I had been eating rice when you drink water. Sorry, when you drank water. So that means, again, for the past perfect continuous, we require two actions that are happening at the same time. As I said that I had been eating rice when you drank water. Okay, subject had been auxiliary verb, eating main verb, rice object. So we usually help to make the sentence complete with the help of conjunctions and try to put two clauses. Like say, she had been reading a book. She had been reading a book when my friend slept. Okay, again, the next sentence, you had been playing football. You had been playing football when I played cricket. When I played cricket. We had been drinking water. We had been drinking water when you took milk. When you took milk. And we can use some other conjunctions. Say, for example, he had been going to school. He had been going to school before you played cricket. So these are some examples for the past perfect continuous. So my dear audience, we can say that today we are done with the past tense, wherein we talked about past simple or past indefinite for the structure, subject plus past form of the verb plus object. We'll say, for example, I ate rice. I is subject, ate is the verb, rice is an object. For the past perfect, for the past continuous and the past progressive tense, we talked about, we used the example that I was eating rice. Okay, this is the action that indicates somehow in the past, and we talked at the time of speaking in the past. Say, for example, I was eating rice. I as a subject, was as a helping verb, eating main verb, and rice is an object. For the past perfect tense, we use an action that happens somewhere in the past across the timeline, and we usually connect prepositions, we usually connect conjunction along with another clause in this action. Say, for example, I had eaten rice when you ate mango. For the present perfect continuous again, it is the action that had been continued for some time, and it shows the duration and the continuity of the action along for the same aspect of this. Again, for this aspect also, we use conjunction so that we can attach another clause to it to make it meaningful sentence. Say for example, I had been eating rice. I had been eating rice before my friend drank water. Before my friend drank water. So this is all about the past tense structures along with the structures and example. My dear friends, hope that you will practice on it in the day-to-day life, in the routine situation, in the day-to-day situations, and will try to develop linguistic skills and make your communication skills strong and powerful. Okay, hope that you will understand it and have a good time ahead. And if you have any kind of confusion, any kind of we can say that question, you can ask later. Okay, have a good time ahead.